Alrighty, welcome to the last PowerPoint in this series, on this playlist, whatever, and it's going to be mindset. Mindset is the number one thing that's going to determine really you reaching your potential, you being successful, and you being happy. So let's get into mindset, because that mindset is really what traps people. So I'd like to first of all welcome everybody again for your interest in watching these PowerPoints and just all the information I can put out there. This is just barely a scratch, a drop of water in the bucket of the ocean, or whatever. Yeah, let's see, a drop of water in the ocean, a bucket in the ocean. Anyways, welcome, and I appreciate you watching this. All right, things that we're going to be discussing. We're going to be looking at what is mindset, how to change your mindset, and different things about self-improvement. That's going to be the leading determination that's going to determine your success over your whole life. Is going to be what type of self-improvement. How are you investing in you? And we'll get more into that, and this is the start of that, actually. So I appreciate you watching this and spending time, because this is investing in you. Okay, key points. What is mindset? How we change the mindset, mindsets and mentors, and then continuous self-improvement. And there's those 4 ACEs. If you haven't heard those before, it's Bob's 4 ACEs of life. It's pay attention, be made aware, change your attitude, and take action. We'll go over those a little bit more here as we get through this PowerPoint. All right, what is mindset? Mindset, the established set of attitudes held by someone. So we want to look at how those attitudes get established. Were they all good? Were they all bad? Can we go through there and take the ones that we like? How are we to identify those? And how can we change the ones that we don't feel is really helping us? Okay. Everyone has a consistent dialogue going on in their head. We've all got this dialogue that always goes in our head, this monologue, whatever, talking to ourselves, okay? Sometimes we perceive situations in a way that when it doesn't go right, we react with exaggerated feelings of anxiety, depression, anger, superiority, depending on what monologue we are recycling through our mind. Just chew on that for a minute, okay? We all have a monologue going on. Okay. How you view or perceive a situation will determine your or our response to that situation. The response has a pattern, and that's what you can start watching. That's what good friends are for too. They'll call you on that stuff, okay? The response has a pattern, and it's either going to be leaning more towards a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Now, when we're operating from a fixed mindset, our internal monologue tends more towards judging a situation. An example might be, oh, I'm a loser, or because I did this, it means I'm a better person than them. This means I'm a bad girlfriend or a boyfriend. So there's always the judgmental negative connotation on any situation, whether it's our own actions or somebody else's actions. Okay, that's a fixed mindset. Now, again, how you view or perceive a situation will determine your response. That response has a pattern, and it's going to be fixed mindset or growth mindset. When we're operating from a growth mindset, the internal monologue is not so much into judging ourselves or others. It focuses more, it focuses more on learning and constructive action, okay? The monologue would be more like, what can I learn from this? How can I help to improve? What can I do to help my partner do better? See, it's more of a upgoing and you know, rolling with the punches and learning from our mistakes, instead of, oh man, I'm just, you know, or you just, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole different pitch and energy and mindset there. And it really all goes back to our perceptions, how we were raised in our environment, and our belief systems about ourselves. And you can reprogram those. And that's why I'm wanting to at least give you an introduction to mindset so that we can start becoming aware of this. Okay, self-improvement. You want to focus on the experience of learning and develop your passions and purposes with your unique gifts and interests. Having hope, having purpose with a passion is the number one thing needed to overcome the fear of growing and breaking into your greatness. Okay, and you want to look for mentors, look for people that have that mindset that you want to grow, or if you're heading towards a technical field, you know, it's not about going in there and learning all the technical stuff. It's really going in there and networking with those people and being around those people that will help improve your mindset towards that discipline or towards that field. Okay, review. Mindset. Start reviewing your monologue, and if you feel you're okay with your mindset, then go along as you were. If you want to make sure you have a growth mindset and self-improvement of positive and guided direction, there is a list of books and the resources. Bite it down into chunks and you can digest and start chewing. Be excited about more awareness of how people function and how you can better understand them for yourself. Okay, that's probably the greatest thing that I got from reading the Mindset book, is that all of a sudden it came clear to me that really, you know, we all have, if you're a growth mindset, you're going to have some areas that are fixed, that you're kind of stubborn and you're not going to move out of. And if you're in a fixed mindset, that's not to say that you don't have some growth mindset in certain areas. The big thing there is being able to understand where you're at, the people around you, so you can start deciding if you want to hang out with them 5 friends that are all fixed mindset. If you want to grow and you have a growth mindset and you're running around with people with a fixed mindset, your frequencies, your wavelengths, your brain waves are going to be completely different. And you're always going to kind of be button. You know, you're going to be trying to raise them up and they're always going to be down. That's what you want to start paying attention to, because that will actually suck energy out of you. And now here's some review resources. I recommend going to this site right here. The greatest thing that we can have is gratitude. You know, in one of Tony Robbins' book, The Giant Within, the first thing right off that book, it's a workbook, by the way, but it has you getting up in the morning and writing down the 5 things that you're most grateful for. And I remember one time I was in a situation where I had wound up with not very much, and all I did was sit around and purposely start being grateful for every little thing I had. And you would not believe how much that increased my my energy and my focus and my hope. If we don't have gratitude, we tend to lose hope that anything's going to get better. We kind of become hopeless, okay? You have to focus on gratitude. Another thing that goes along with gratitude is empathy. Being able to really feel someone or something, okay? Being able to have the selfishness to move yourself out of the way and listen to really understand that person instead of just listening to respond. Listening to respond. Okay, that is not what empathy is about, okay? So gratitude and empathy. Now, when we get into these other books here, one's a small little cartoon book that I was reading to some of the elementary kids, and I really love it because it goes along with a book called Seed Digging. And what those two things do is it helps you to focus on the importance of bad fruit. Somebody reacts towards you, they hurt your heart, they're mean to you for whatever reason. That plants a seed in your heart. And as that grows, it goes into a tree that produces yucky fruit. And what that does is it just starts spreading, you know, and it just duplicates the process of whatever fruit that was. If you plant an apple seed, you're going to grow an apple tree, and it's going to fall off with apples, and they're going to grow more apple trees. Same thing with the kind of fruit that you're producing in life and to those around you. What the seed digging book did is it helps you to dig down into yourself or to other people and helps you identify those disbeliefs or those beliefs that aren't necessarily true, that are anchoring you down, that's keeping that tree of bad fruit producing in your heart. So if we can find where those bad seeds are at and change our beliefs about what put them there, we can literally pull those trees producing bad fruit out. The next book's the Mindset book by Dweck, and that's the phenomenal book that we just went over. It's a great book. The other one, to give you to realize that to make any change, especially in ourself, it's going to take fortitude. It's going to take grit. And Matt Marino has a book out. It's called Grit, and a really great book. The next book is The Big Leap, and that book talks about we operate from 4 areas, one of 4 areas. We either like to hang out in the area of incompetence, okay, to where it's like, I don't really want to do nothing, you know, I don't know how to do nothing. You don't want to be competent. You don't want to. The next level is being competent, and that means the skills that you have, you're operating at that level of mediocrity, okay? You're being competent, but yet you're not going above and beyond what your skills dictate. And it's not like the working in the incompetence level to where it's like, I have these skills, but I think I'm just going to chill down here, okay? You're not being competent with the gifts that you've been given. The next level is called the level of excellence. And that's where we take the skills and our experience and everything that we have, and we start, you know, we push ourselves a little bit outside our comfort zone, but we don't go far and above what our skills dictate. Okay, we stay in the safe zone, and believe me, I know of that because I've got a boatload of skills, and it was really difficult at first to get outside of my skill level. But I wanted to get not just past that excellence, because the 4th level that we operate in, and very few people get that, is a genius level. So we have incompetence, competence, excellence, our genius. What level are we operating from, and how can we increase our level of competency to get to excellence so we can hit that genius mark and really draw out our potential? And that book again is called The Big Leap. Another book that I recently am reading right now, it's a help book. These are all self-improvement type books. That book I recommend to everybody. And it really gets down to the nuts and bolts of you standing in front of the mirror, and you are programming your subconscious mind by letting know how much you love yourself. Okay? Try it. Go in front of the mirror and say, man, I really love you, Bob. Or don't use my name, you know, but use your own name. And just start building yourself up. We live in a culture that it's not normal to be lifting people up all the time, okay? And so you'll find that, you know, we've got a lot of undigging to do. We need a lot of I love yous, and you meet, you know, you're good, man, you're great. So the book Mirror Work actually gets into into a logging, and actually going to the mirror. Actually in the book I carry a little mirror with it there. And it has, you know, saying all different types of stuff to help move those disbeliefs, those bad seeds. It helps incredibly well at getting those out. Okay, the next book, small little book, is called Managing Oneself, and it's by Drucker. That's right, okay. And the biggest thing I got out of that book was really 2 things. The big thing was, don't try to be a master of all things. And coming from old school, that was really tough for me, because I always thought that, well, maybe I'll be a master of many. You know that old saying, did I use master of many and you know, or no, he's a jack of all trades and a master of none. Okay, and then there's being a jack of all trades and a master of few. Well, I thought I could be a jack of all trades and a master of many. You can, but you really get spread yourself really thin, and it slows down your momentum. Some convergent of causes might help you out with that later on in life, but what Drucker states in his book is focus on your strengths, and focus on your strengths, okay? And that's all of a sudden why I got the board, and that's why I all of a sudden started looking at what I'm doing. The next one, let's see, Managing Oneself. The other thing that Drucker talks about in that book is, you know, doing a business startup within 18 months, that thing should be self-sustaining, or it's going to be all wobbly, okay? Managing Oneself, the 4 quadrants we went over in one of the other PowerPoints, and that's Robert Kiyoski's book. Great recommended reading there. And again, the greatest thing that I got from that book is going from employment, self-employment, to an actual business. Our greatest thing that stops us is fear. and passion, our passions for our purpose will drive us through that fear, okay? Let's see, Be Obsessed or Be Average. It's a book that recently came out from Grant Cardone, and the title says all of it, but I'm going to sum it up. No matter what, we're obsessed with something. I don't care if it's eating, chocolate, not doing anything, lounging around, smoking, drinking. What that book boils down to is, if you don't get obsessed about your growth and your business and becoming wealthy, and I'm saying become wealthy so that we can do better for ourselves and those around us, if we do not get obsessed with our personal growth, we're going to be average. Okay, and really that's what the main message of that book is. The next one is Awaken the Giant Within. And that book is a workbook. I've read through it. I'm going back and I'm actually working through it. And I'm telling you, that's a life-changing book just in itself, from Tony Robbins, the Awaken the Giant Within. Then a couple old standbys here is The 7 Habits of a Highly Effective People, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those 2 books are incredible. Probably I remember the biggest thing I got from one of those was, don't set your happiness on other people living up to your expectations of them. You should have expectations on people around you and yourself, but you don't want to base your happiness on somebody living up to your expectations of them. Okay, let's see. I went ahead and listed EFT tapping. I don't know if you have heard anything about that, but it involves the energies and the meridians in our body, and it comes from a lot of background in science. I've been watching it for about 10 years, but you can do tapping, which is also kind of a self-love thing too, okay? It's like, just get an example, even though these PowerPoints ain't turning out what they should be, and you're tapping right here, there's an actual pressure point here, and you're hitting your subconscious mind. Even though whatever, even though I'm sad today, even though I failed, whatever, even though I'm letting myself down, even though I'm in pain, even though I'm not successful in business, whatever, I still love myself completely and accept myself deeply. Or, I accept myself completely and love myself deeply. And then there's some points. Then you just go over, man, there's one point here, and you tap it, man. I really, these PowerPoint or whatever, it's like my businesses, they're not going fast enough. And then there's points here, and you just keep going over that, man, my businesses, and there's one here, my businesses, I wish they were better, or I wish I was like, this club took off better, and there's a point here, and there's a point here, and you hit these points, and there's one right here, and then there's one right here. Here's what's cool about EFT tapping. I've been following it for probably 10 years, especially working with vets with post-traumatic stress. They finally brought the science out on it and was able to tell. They measure stress levels in the body by cortisol levels. So like if I was totally stressed and bound up and I went and I had an hour long with a psychologist, a therapist, when I left, that cortisol level would be down significantly. Well, 3 sessions of that tapping, what I just did, actually lowers your cortisol levels in your body, which is the indicator of stress. It lowers that by the same amount as an hour with a good therapist, okay? Heck, I'll throw this in. Right here is the thymus gland, okay? This acupressure point for the thymus gland. So and the reason that it's kind of cool we're built that way is when you hug people, you're tapping on that thymus gland. So if you do, and it sends a subconscious signal to your subconscious mind that you're being hugged. So if you're ever like feeling lonely or bummed or depressed, right about here, okay, there's a spot. You'll find the thymus gland and you tap on it. And it'll actually boost that energy up into the subconscious brain, the part of the brain to where you're receiving hugs. Okay, so that's just an extra tip. Let's see, we went over the 4 aces, Bob's 4 aces. Pay attention. Be made aware. That's what I'm trying to do here. Change your attitude. Oh, yeah. And take action. Real quick, let me talk about something from Napoleon Hill's book about taking action. Didn't mean this to go so long. But in that book, defining a purpose and everything, and then it gets to the attitude, being able to adjust your attitude, okay? Different things come at you, you adjust your attitude. That is like if you're able to do that, that's key. Because when you can adjust your attitude like a sailboat, like on a sail, you can position your attitude to actually get caught up with just the karma and natural forces of the universe, really. And it'll actually carry you a little bit more effortlessly towards your goal, towards your purpose. Then ultimately, keep it simple, keep it easy, and keep it fun. I just got that from a motivational speech guy last week. And keep it easy, keep it simple, keep it fun. Say that 100 times a day, man. Whenever you think, oh, I gotta go to work, keep it easy, keep it simple, keep it fun. You know, oh, I gotta do some homework, keep it easy, keep it simple, keep it fun. These are the things, guys. If you do not try to grab your brain and change this yourself, then you're gonna drift along. And the world's going to do it for you, their way, their standards. So take these, the entrepreneur, take the teams, take the mindset stuff, and start getting more of it into you. And let me know what you think. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.